You gonna bark, Sasha?
Are you gonna release some crazy?
You gonna bork bork?
Bork bork? Gonna unleash some crazy upon the neighborhood? Thinking about it? No? Okay.
Hey, it's Sue.
And Megan in the restricted section.
Today we're filming another big-ass book haul.
So we went to the motherfucking library sale again because we cannot help ourselves.
Yeah, it's a tradition at this point.
We have to do it. We have to do it.
So we both went earlier in the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went back today for Dollar Bag Day and got a few more. So we got a lot of books.
We got a lot of fucking books is what we did.
And we're drinking, honestly I can't really remember if we've had this on the channel before. It's possible we have, but we're starting to run out of new beers to try, okay? We have White Creek Wit from White River Brewing Company, a local brewery that we frequent.
I'm gonna pour mine into my White River glass because this has some schmutz on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, but
Looks pretty gross.
looks pretty nasty.
I wouldn't put my mouth on it.
Mm-mm.
Let's try it out.
Let's do it.
We've already had it.
Cheers.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
It's a good wit.
It's a good wit beer.
Yeah. They honestly don't have a beer I don't like.
No, they have really great beers.
Really good beer. Okay, so
Yes.
should we start with the books we bought earlier
Yes.
in the week?
Let's do that, and then we'll jump to our Dollar Bag Day books.
Yeah, so these we paid like full price for, which, you know, still wasn't that much, but
Yeah, I think between my husband and I both, we spent like $23.
I don't remember how much I spent. It wasn't that much though.
Yeah.
I think it was less than $20. So the first book I have is an old sci-fi novel, and it was mostly for the cover, to be honest. But also, you know, I like a fun old sci-fi novel every once in a while. But this is The World Swappers by John Brunner. And it's got this woman on the cover who's holding what looks to be some planets in a very...
Interesting location.
yeah.
Very titillating area.
So this says, two powerful titans were making their bid for supremacy of mankind's planets, and an entire galaxy was caught in the crushing vice of their struggle for ultimate power, and etc.
Etc. Etc. Etc.
Sounds like it could be fun. Didn't have great reviews on Goodreads,
But that cover though. I got Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. I love this movie, but I've never read the book The Silence of the Lambs, so...
And I got Red Dragon by Thomas Harris because I already have Silence of the Lambs. I haven't read it yet, but this is the first book in that series. So, I got it.
You got it. I got 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, which
I also got. I actually already had a copy, but mine was a hardcover, and this is a fairly sizable book, so I didn't want the hardcover.
yeah, I don't have this already, so I just wanted it.
Yeah. And then I got The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury, and I'm really pissed at whoever put a sticker right over his face.
That's some
I don't
bullshit.
think that residue's ever gonna come off, so I don't know who you are, but you're a monster.
Fuck you, whoever you are.
But this is a classic sci-fi novel, and I don't really know what it's about, to be honest. Martians, I would assume.
Probably. Most likely Martians. I have The Dog Stars by Peter Heller. This is about a post-apocalyptic dude and his dog.
I read it a couple months ago.
And I think you said it was kind of boring, right?
It's boring until the end. And then the end is good. It's also written very weirdly. It's very stilted and strange.
The dog doesn't die, right?
Next, I got Chalky by John Wyndham. I just saw John Wyndham and grabbed it because I read The Chrysalids last year and loved it. And I think this is about a boy, and I don't know, from what I gathered, I feel like maybe he has an alien, has an alien living inside him or something like that. I could be completely off about that, but there's something strange about this boy.
And it may or may not be an alien.
Yeah.
I have Army of the Republic by Stuart Archer Cohen. I had not heard of this before, but it just sounded interesting. It's about America is stretched to its breaking point, I guess, economically and militarily, I guess. So it seems a little bit maybe apocalyptic.
Like a post-apocalyptic. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounded interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The next one I got is The Farthest Shore by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is the third book in the Earth-Sea cycle, and I read the first 2 books last year. I didn't love them, to be honest, but I did enjoy the second book. The first book was pretty mediocre, but the second one was pretty good, so I thought, hey, it's here at the library sale. I think it was like maybe 50 cents, so I might as well get it and read it, and it's pretty short, and see how it goes. It also came with some chive seeds.
What the hell?
From 2001.
So, you know, you can start a garden while you're reading.
So, and I was going to read it and then give it to my friend Sean because I had borrowed the first 2 books from him, but then I found out that he actually got rid of those 2 books. So I'll probably just read this and then get rid of it myself.
I got Room by Emma Donoghue. I think I'm probably like the only person on BookTube to have not read this yet.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I mean, I've heard a lot about it, so we'll see.
The next one I have, I was pretty stoked to find because I've heard a few people talk about this on BookTube, and it sounded really interesting. And that is The New and Improved Romy Futch by Julia Elliott. And this is, I think, about a man who's like, he's kind of a loser, but then he undergoes this experiment that makes him super intelligent. And so it's about what happens to him after that. And this is some sort of it's not an ARC, it's not an advanced reader copy, I don't think, but it says, Powell's Books is proud to present this exclusive early edition of The New and Improved Romy Futch to indispensable subscribers. So I hope it's not like riddled with errors and editing, annoying, but
missteps.
Yeah, I'm excited to read that one.
Very cool.
And I like the cover with this warthog, I think it is.
That's a fancy fucking fire-breathing ass warthog.
I'm interested to find out what, if anything, this warthog has to do with the story.
I got When She Woke by Hilary Jordan. I've actually already read this, and I have it on my Kindle, but I remember really, really liking it when I read it, so I wanted a hard copy of it, and I would like to reread it now, because it's been several years since I read it, but I remember really enjoying it. So, this is about a woman who lives in a world where abortion is illegal, and they actually like monochrome people's skin based on crimes that they commit. So she has an abortion and she's monochromed red for like the rest of her life, and so she has to figure out how to survive in society now that she's been branded as a murderer.
The next one I got is The Crucible by Arthur Miller. I've always kind of wanted to read this. I've heard mixed things about it. I think some people really hate it, so we'll see, but I think it has to do with the Salem witch trials.
I have When We Were Animals by Joshua Gaylord. I was drawn to this because of the cover, I'm going to be really honest, because it's kind of a neat cover.
I like the title would draw me into.
Yeah, it just sounded neat. So this is a confessional from one of the characters. I guess her community has this tradition where for 1 year beginning at puberty, every resident breaches during the full moon. On these nights, adolescents run wild, destroying everything in their path. But the main character, Lumen, resists. So she investigates the mystery of her community's traditions and the stories erased from the town record. But I guess she also has some secrets herself. And it's described as a gothic coming-of-age tale.
That sounds cool.
I'm about.
So the next book I got, which I already delibrified, so it looks nice and
I
shiny
delibrified all these ones too.
But this is In the Land of Armadillos by Helen Merrills Shankman. And this is another one I'd heard about from BookTube and heard really good things about, and it is a collection of short stories, I do believe, set in Poland during World War II.
I have Autumn, the City by David Moody. This is the second book in a series. It is a zombie novel. I have the first book and I've read it, and I think there's 2 other books too. There's Purification and Disintegration that come after this, but this is the second book. So I also got another copy of Kindred by Octavia Butler just because I loaned this to my mom and I doubt that I'll ever get it back. So, which is fine. But I want to have it in my collection. So,
the last one I got on the first day that I went to the library sale was The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. I already own this book, but it's in this big hardback along with Les Miserables. And so it just would be really uncomfortable to read it in that format, so I got this nice paperback
Then I have On the Beach by Neville Shute. Not Schrute, that's Dwight.
Dwight.
I have this already, but I like this copy better. I have Fledgling by Octavia Butler. I have this on my Kindle, but not a physical copy. And if I really like a book, I want to own like an actual copy of it. So that's that. And lastly, I got People of the Book by Geraldine Brooks. I've heard of this author, and I've heard really good things about her, but I haven't read anything of hers yet.
I don't know if I've ever heard of her.
I think this is like some kind of, I don't know, it's about
There's a
some
map
kind of
in it.
Yeah.
So.
It's like about a book with an artifact in it, and it affects all these people, and I don't know. It sounded pretty fascinating, and like I said, I've heard of this author, so.
So now we're gonna get into the books we got today at the Dollar Bag Day. There's
Dollar
also
Bag Day.
they have a section that's $5 books, and then they have a section of dollar books, and we combined our $5 books.
Yeah, because
we usually don't go to the $5 section, but we thought we'd check it out. So we only got 3 books from that section and paid $5 for them, which still ain't bad.
No, it's still a pretty good bargain.
So I got 2 from that section, and Megan got 1. And the first one I have is The Deep Sea Divers Syndrome by Serge Brussold. Or Serge? Is that how you say that? Sergey?
I think it's Sergey. Well, it doesn't have the I after it. And there's no, usually I think Sergey has an I after the E.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name, but
you know.
I never heard of this or the author or anything, but it sounded like it could be a cool book. They call them mediums, professional dreamers who dive into the dream world to retrieve items that convert to valuable artworks in the waking world. What's more, the more dangerous the dream, the more valuable that artwork becomes. So this is about a man who dreams.
And I got 1 Year After by William R. Fortune. This is actually a follow-up novel to a book called 1 Second After, and this 1 Second After, I guess, is about like 1 second after nuclear bombs go off over the U.S., and this is about 1 year after that happens. And they're starting to get technology back and stuff like that at this point.
So we're gonna try to find the first one.
Oh yeah.
And the other one I got from the $5 section is another one I've heard about on BookTube, but we'll see how it is. The cover's really pretty, but it's really Enchanted Islands by Allison Amend. Let's see what this is about. Because I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so I guess this is about a woman who covets the life of her best friend, but then her best friend betrays her and she has to strike out on her own.
Sounds like the story of our lives.
Oh yes. Which one of us will be the betrayer?
Oh no. So I guess that brings us to the books that we got in the $1 section. Yes. So we got, you fill up a paper grocery sack of books for $1.
Yeah. So we were very conservative. We could have gotten
a lot
more, but I only got 7 books.
I got 6. So about the same.
I guess I'll start then.
Yeah.
I got another sci-fi book that was kind of a cover by, I don't even know how to say this, Camiel by Edward Pearson. It says, this is like a 140-page book, but it says, a magnificent epic in the tradition of J.R.R. Tolkien.
That's lofty.
So, you know, in 140 pages, this guy apparently did what Tolkien did.
In like 1.5 million pages. So.
And there's 5 parts to this book.
Oh my god.
Contents. Wow.
Wow.
But this is another I thought would just be a fun little...
Silly
read. One.
Yeah.
It says it's the sweeping saga of the revolt of the gods in which Zariel, the Black Angel, and his hosts of evil defy the eternal edict, invoking the wrath of the Lord and the forces of Michael the Vanquisher.
Sounds like some supernatural shit.
It does.
Wonder if Castiel comes up in there.
Well, I hope so.
Hello, Castiel.
How you doing?
How you doing? I got The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. I have a friend who really loves Amy Tan. I've never read anything of hers, so I thought I would try it out.
And I also got The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan.
It goes in and out between many realities, but all of them contain mothers and daughters, apparently.
Okay.
So, I also got another Amy Tan book. I got The Kitchen God's Wife. Again, I've never read any Amy Tan. I'm not really even sure what this is about, but I have a friend who really loves her and thinks she's awesome, so I'm gonna check her out.
And I got Strange Fruit by Lillian Smith. I thought think maybe I've heard of this. That's kind of why I got it, but it says it's a story of human beings and their relationships. I think it's kind of a tragic love story. Maybe it's not tragic. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's just a love story.
It'll be an adventure to find out. I got Memory Wall, stories by Anthony Doerr, and I couldn't remember where I knew Anthony Doerr from, but Sue reminded me he's the author of All the Light We Cannot See.
Yeah.
And these
I loved that book.
Yeah, that was a good book. But yeah, these are stories about memory. So it's just, I think, a few short stories.
And I got The Dream of My Return by Horatio Castellanos Moya. And I had never heard of this or the author. It's translated from Spanish by Catherine Silver, but it sounded kind of interesting. It says, after he seeks relief for liver pain through hypnosis while drinking more than ever despite the treatments, his few impulse control mechanisms rapidly dissolve and reality only rarely intrudes on his cogitations? Harebrained murder plots, half-mad arguments, hysterical rants, the narrative escalates at a maniacal pace, infused with Horatio Castellanos Moya's uniquely outlandish and hysterical sense of humor. So it sounded like it could be fun.
Yeah.
It's very short.
Sounds like maybe some crazy shit.
Yeah. And I love me some crazy shit.
So I got Year of Wonders, also by Geraldine Brooks. This is a novel of the plague, so I got this for two reasons. Numero uno, because again, I've heard of Geraldine Brooks and whatever. Secondly, plague.
Yeah.
I love my apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic plague.
And plague was practically an apocalypse.
It was, yeah. So this takes place in like 1666 in a village that becomes plague-ridden. So, right up my alley. Fun. Sounds like a good time.
The next one I got is Coal Black Horse by Robert Olmsted, and Megan is about to read this book.
I've started it, but I'm not super far into it.
But it's set during the Civil War, and I don't know, it just sounded interesting, and it's supposed to be kind of in the same vein of Cormac McCarthy, and I've only read one book by him, but I really liked it.
It was really good, yeah.
So, and I just finished a book about the Civil War, and actually quite enjoyed it.
I feel like I just keep reaching into my
magic bag
of books. I found a copy of Love by Toni Morrison, which I don't already have.
Oh, you know what? I got that on my first trip to the library sale.
Did you?
And I think I already put it on my shelf and I forgot to bring it. But I also got a copy
of
that.
Got this copy. Yeah, we love our Toni Morrison, and we are amassing collections of her books.
Next I got The Danish Girl by David Ebershoff, and I think this is about a couple, and then one of them, the man in the couple, I think, transitions to being a woman.
Didn't they make that into a movie with Eddie Redmayne?
Yes. I think I've heard kind of mixed things about this, but I wanted to give it a shot because it sounds interesting. So
sounds like an interesting read. And lastly, I got a copy of Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. Sue found this for me. This is a zombie novel, and zombie novels are my guilty pleasure. So,
and the last one I got is called Emotionally Weird by Kate Atkinson. I have not yet read anything by her, but I have what is it called? Life After Life, I think, which I really want to read, but this just sounds like it might be a fun, weird story. It's about a woman and her mother, and they're telling weird tales, and then strange things start to happen around them. And it's supposed to be funny, and like, yeah. Sounds like it could be a fun palate cleanser of a read.
Cleansing read. Yeah. So, I think that we made out pretty well at the library sale.
Yeah. We definitely both went more overboard on the first day we went, but you know, you got to get the stuff you want before it's gone.
Get while it gets good, by the
time Dollar Bag Day comes around, it might not be there anymore.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, in order to de-library your books, you can take this plastic cover off.
Yeah, it rips up the inside, but you know,
But
it's not that big a deal.
No.
To me.
Not to me either. But yeah, because then the outside looks nice and brand new and pretty.
Like, watch. I'll de-library this one right now.
De-library in this shit.
Let's just give it a go.
Yeah, so it'll tear up the inside cover of your book.
Yeah, so that'll look a little rough, but I mean the flap's gonna cover it anyway.
Right.
Because there's always a piece of paper
On the inside.
and you can just do that, and voila, you have the unscathed dust jacket.
And you can put that right back over your book.
Back on there.
And you are all set.
And ta-da! It looks like you just bought it at the store, except it still has the... Usually there's a stamp somewhere that says...
This is no longer property of the Greene County.
Oh, there, yeah. This one on the inside cover says it, so... But, there you go.
Oh, they put a sticker on the dust
that's
jacket.
bullshit.
They don't usually do that.
Yeah.
But
Usually
yeah.
they don't. This one didn't, so
anyway.
it's fine.
Yeah, that's how you de-library your
Hardcover books.
Yeah.
That's our big book haul. Let us know what you thought of these books.
Yeah, have you read any of these? Let us know what you thought of them so we
Yeah.
know if we got some stinkers or some good ones.
Yep, and this beer's good.
Yeah, this beer's tasty.
It's really, I mean, you can't go wrong with White River.
No, we really haven't had anything there that we didn't like.
No.
So.
And I'm not usually even a big fan of Wits, but I like this one.
Oh, I dig
quite a
Wits,
bit.
but I like this one quite a bit too because it's got a little bit more complex flavor, I think, than most Wits do.
Yeah. And sometimes Wits just have like a weird flavor to them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And this one doesn't have that.
Mm-mm. It's pretty delicious.
Yeah. It has says it has notes of orange and coriander.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're ever in Springfield, definitely check out White River Brewing Company because it's a really chill, cool place to hang out.
Yep.
And they have really
awesome
good
beer.
beers.
Yeah. Yeah, we really enjoy it. So.
All right, so there'll be some links below where you can find us other places on the internet.
And if you're not already subscribed to the restricted section, you should do it.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.